Have a Nice Death is the latest roguelike game released under the roguelike genre, a genre that has gained much more popularity over the years with titles like Hades, Slay the Spire, Risk of Rain 2, Enter the Gungeon. Really, there's just way too many amazing games. All the games mentioned above are stellar titles, and I could talk all day about some of them. Like how Hades has won multiple awards in gaming, which are well deserved. The amount of love put into Hades, it's easy to see. But I wouldn't expect less from Supergiant Games, the creators of Hades. Now, this video isn't about Hades, but it's about Have a Nice Death by Magic Design Studios. The game released into early access on Steam on March 8th, 2022. I know a lot of people may not be fans of early access, but the game we just talked about, Hades, and I promise this will be the last time we talk about it, but it also had a very long early access life cycle that started in 2018, and it did not fully release until 2020. So, is Have a Nice Death good? Is it better than Hades? Is it buggy as heck on day one? Well, I'll help you answer all those questions, and I'll tell you everything that you need to know. Firstly, let's have a good look at the creators of the game, Magic Design Studios. With my research, I was able to find one other game that they've made called Unruly Heroes, which was released on January 23rd, 2019. It's a platform action-adventure game which can be played in co-op. I'll be honest, I've never even heard of the game, but the movement and combat seems smooth and reminds me a bit of Have a Nice Death, which isn't surprising, but they're a relatively small team with just over 20 people and located in France. Alright, we met the team behind them. There wasn't much to talk about, but let's talk about their game now. Their game, Have a Nice Death. It was first announced during the Game Awards in December of 2021, and I don't know about you, but it was the highlight of the whole show for me. Minus Metroid Dread winning Best Action Game, it got robbed the Game of the Year, but Have a Nice Death spoke to me because of its roguelike aspects, cute graphics, and smooth movement. Now going into the game, here's the backstory. You play as Death. You know, that guy that's around when you die? Well, their employees are running rampant at Death Inc. and destroying the balance of souls. So you grab your trusty scythe to fix everything. Now, there's a good amount of things to learn about this game, and I don't want to spoil too much. I'm going to try my best to explain everything quickly and precisely. It's a roguelike, so there's a lot, so buckle up. Let's talk about the big ticket item first, the combat. My first experience with this game was the first day of early access, and I'll tell you the combat and movement of the game, it flows nicely. Your main weapon's a scythe, which has a lot of abilities on its own and a lot of potential for great combos, and you can even upgrade it with the game's currency, which we'll get to in a bit. The movement in combat really reminds me of movement in combat from Hollow Knight, which is another masterpiece of a video game. And like Hollow Knight, you may die to bosses a lot, but you need to study their movesets so you know when the right time to attack is, and the same goes for just regular enemies. You take a lot of damage in the game, and don't have a lot of opportunity to heal, unless you pick up some items, and we'll also talk about the items and curses in a second. There's a lot. But let's finish talking about weapons and damage. Now, along with your scythe, you get 2 more slots for weapons which can be swapped around during your run. Each weapon that is not your scythe will either have a cooldown or will cost you mana, which is just magic and it restores itself automatically and very fast. I personally didn't get to try every weapon, but I do believe that there is a tier for weapons based on the color of them when you're picking them up. I believe this because some weapons were just not that useful compared to, you know, this weapon where I have meteors rain down on the sky killing enemies easily. That's much better than a kunai. Now, along with those weapons, you have one more attack with your scythe that you can use when your rage meter is full, which is right under your scythe. It deals a crap ton of damage and is super useful to help clear a room with a lot of enemies. And then lastly, we have a dash, which doesn't deal damage, but it can help you dodge projectiles and easily move around enemies. You can see why it reminds me of Hollow Knight. But here's one thing that isn't like Hollow Knight, and it's the healing. Let's talk about the items that you pick up and the currencies in the game now. Throughout the game, random enemies will drop useful items. Some will drop a yellow or blue orb, which is called anima, which heals you a little bit when you want it to. And then some enemies will drop coffee, which is just a pure heal right then and there. And then some enemies will drop Solary. They drop a lot of things, but Solary is one of the 3 currencies. And don't worry, the currencies are very easy to understand. We have Solary and Primsium, which can be used to upgrade your scythe, weapons, or buy items in the shop. And then we have the currency Ingots, which is used to unlock weapons that will drop in your runs. After every run, you earn Ingots and can spend them on any weapons you want to have drop. But a fun thing is that every weapon can get exponentially cheaper by doing certain tasks like killing enemies. It's a fun way to help increase replayability, in my opinion. Or some people would say, oh, that's annoying. But who cares? It's a game. Okay, can you keep up with it all? Okay, good. Only a couple more things to discuss. You're doing fantastic. Let's talk about the curses quickly, which sounds scary, but please, I've eaten tuna sandwiches scarier than this. Curses are upgrades to your character that are granted to you from an NPC. You have 3 options to choose from: red, blue, or yellow curses, and each one has different benefits. I'm not going to tell you every single curse because that's just not fun. It just buffs you a little bit, that's all. There's also an item that allows you to re-roll one of the curses. When I'm playing the game, I personally compare the curses to boons in Hades. They're great upgrades that help you during the run, but once you die, they're gone. Okay, sweetie, don't worry. Only one more thing to discuss, and it's an easy one. Let's talk about the map of the game. Basically, how much content are we getting? I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't know. I've only gotten to the 3rd level of the game, as some of the bosses are just really hard. But every level seems to have 6 rooms total, and at the end of each room, you choose which room you want to go to next. Kind of like Hades. There are 7 rooms total, with each having their own benefits like upgrades, items achieved, all of that fun stuff. And then there's also mini bosses and regular bosses. Whew, that's a lot for a game that's $12, but that's a roguelike. Lots of content for a cheap price. But with that, even in my first 4 hours of playing, I noticed a few things that could be improved, and I know that it's early access, so they probably will be improved, but here we go. Here's what I think. I feel like there's a lack of consistency in items. It really makes the game more challenging. I like a hard game, I do, but some runs, I feel like I'm not getting any health items compared to 6 weapons, or vice versa. I have too much health, but then I have no weapons to do damage. I could say the same thing about the upgrade items. Once I got them, I was never able to use them. And that's really the biggest thing I could say is negative. It's just that lack of consistency. There are some bugs here and there that you'll find, and that's an early access game. Like hell, I glitched out of the map at one point. A quick restart fixed it, but bugs like that will be improved over time and hopefully patched out. Also, I hope the grammar improves over time, as some sentences are hard to read. I don't have too many negative things to say about this. Maybe more negatives will arise once I get more game time in. And now quickly, it's time for the best part of any video, and no, this is not an ad, it's
my own opinion on the game.
Okay, I really enjoy the game. I'm someone who's recently gotten into roguelikes and Metroidvanias the past year, and this game just connects with me so much. I spoke highly of Hollow Knight when I played it if you saw my video on that game, and this game has a good amount of similarities to it, and it's only in early access. The combat and movement are so smooth, the satisfaction of dodging an attack with a perfectly timed dash and killing a big enemy, it's really nice. Of course, the opposite of that and getting killed isn't nice, but who cares? The game is definitely a gem in the roguelike genre. Cute art style, lovable NPCs, and a lot to learn. I hope only to see success for this game, and I will hopefully be playing it all the way through. Hope this video helped educate you and showed you everything you wanted to know about this game. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Oh, and of course, sub if you like the videos. I play a wide variety of games on Twitch and make videos when I can. Thanks for watching and supporting. I'll see you next time.